A viewer of mine lives in an RV, and they reached out to me and said, what should I be doing for RV security? Well, guess what? We're gonna go into one of my friend's RVs right now. I'm gonna show you all the tools, weapons, and items that I would personally use if I lived in an RV. Now, I don't live in an RV because I've got a wife and 7 kids, and my wife does not share the same enthusiasm for RVing that I have. But if I didn't have a wife and 7 kids, I would absolutely be living in an RV, especially in this beautiful place we have here. So we're gonna go in. I've got all the items laid out on the table for you. All right, this is this is a fancy RV. I tell you, RVs are getting nice these days. On this table are a motley crew of items that I would have for RV home security if I did live in an RV, which I don't yet, but I want to one day. Okay, so let's talk about these. They're in no particular order, but you may love them, you may hate them. But if you can't find at least one thing on here that you would use for RV security, something's wrong with you. Let's see, what do we want to start with? Let's start with bear spray. A lot of people swear by bear spray. They love it. I'm not a huge fan of bear spray just because I want another weapon, a GUN, that I'm going to show you in a minute, if there is some kind of RV security. If somebody's trying to break in my RV in the middle of the night, I don't want to go just bear spray them. But again, I realize not everybody loves guns as much as I do. Shocking. If you don't like guns, if you're like, no, I don't want to have any kind of weapon or whatever, then yes, use bear spray. It's obviously better than nothing. It's inexpensive. You can keep it on your nightstand, so it is an option for RV security if you want to do that. Since I just mentioned guns, we're going to show a gun. This gun right here is a Walther PDP. It's one of the many guns I own. Check it's unloaded, even though I checked just a second ago. But great gun. I like it. It's not the prettiest looking gun. It's kind of bulky like a Glock, but it has a trigger that is a billion, yes, this is a fact, a billion times better trigger than a Glock. So if you want a better version of a Glock, yes, get a Walther, get the Walther PD, or PDP, excuse me, good gun, I like it, good stuff. So yes, you can use this for RV security. Again, if somebody's busting through your door and you were sitting at that door saying, hey, I've got a gun, leave me alone, and some criminal is coming in to murder you, well then yes, have a gun. I use Spear Gold Dot jacketed hollow point rounds, and this would be a perfectly fine gun to use. So yes, obviously have a gun for RV security. We have another favorite one of mine. It is a miniature baseball bat, as you can see. Got good handle here for the groove, and I'll blind you a little bit. This is, it's got all these different flashes kind of thing. Anyway, I train a lot of people who use this where they say, hey, I live in an apartment, I'm worried about over-penetration, or I don't feel comfortable with a gun. Some young women I've helped train, and this is awesome because this thing will crack open your skull. So if somebody tries to bust into your RV, and again, you don't want to use a gun for whatever reason, this is a perfectly good weapon. Doesn't take years of training. It's a baseball bat, swing it, crack somebody's head open. So this is definitely a good solid choice for RV security. Other items for RV security, before they even get to your place. This is a motion sensor. So this is a driveway alarm. If you are in a remote area, or not if you're in a remote area, have driveway alarms. They're awesome. I have one in my house where I live. The way I do it is you can mount this to a stake. So go to Home Depot, go to Lowe's, get a wooden stake. You mount this to the stake. You put it at the top of your driveway. There is a base station that comes with it. The base station is in your house, or in this case, the base station would be inside the RV. And if somebody crosses the beam, it goes off and it sends a notification. It chimes a doorbell chime. So anytime somebody's coming down my driveway, I have these, actually I have 2 of them, and if it chimes, I know that somebody's coming down the driveway. It gives me that heads up alert. Well, you can put this on a stake in front of your RV door. You could put them all around your RV. That way you know if anybody's approaching from any side. So these are great. They're inexpensive. It's got a solar panel here at the top, which is awesome. So it doesn't matter if you don't have, you don't have to put batteries or any of that kind of stuff in there. If you want to get these, just go to Amazon and do a search for driveway alarm. You'll see plenty of options pop up. Since they're not super expensive, this is a no-brainer for RV defense. I'd get one of these. Also, another inexpensive no-brainer thing is just some solar motion sensor lights. I also have these around my house for home defense. So you don't have to mount these. I mean, you can mount these just like anything else, but you could just leave this out on a picnic table. You could leave this out wherever you want. Obviously, it's got the solar panels on the top here. So you don't have to drill this in if you don't want to, but leave it some places. And if somebody's approaching your RV, well then these are very, very bright. It'll light up. You're gonna put these all around. So get some solar motion sensor lights, a good idea for RV security. What else do we have here? Well, knives. I love knives. I'm an absolute knife junkie. It's one of my favorite knives, Spycraft knives. So this goes back to if you're like, well, hey, you know, I don't want to have a gun and I don't feel comfortable XYZ. Well, then have a knife. Have a good quality full tang knife. This one is about 1/4 inch thick. So you don't want a folding knife in this situation because folding knives are not as strong. But if somebody's trying to get in, you got one of these, and again, doesn't require 37 years and a black belt to know how to use, well, go crazy on them, protect yourself, make sure that you don't end up dead. So definitely have some good high quality fixed blade knife for RV security. Okay, kind of random one here that I'm gonna show you how to use this the right way. So what do I have here? I'm gonna see if you can see it. This is a pepper spray grenade. This one is by the Sabre company, Phantom OC. So why would you want a pepper spray grenade? Well, first, you do not want to set this off inside your RV. Trust me on this. We have set this off inside of one of my trucks, and it takes forever to get the, I would say stench, it's not a stench, but to get the OC spray out of there, meaning you get in my truck even after 30 days and your eyes start watering, and you're like, oh my gosh, what is going on in here? So don't set this off in your RV. So why would you want this? Maybe there's somebody gathering around, or some buddies. Maybe it's like 3 or 4 people, they're harassing you, they're bothering you, they haven't entered the RV yet, you feel unsafe, and you've told them, hey, get off my property, get away from me. Well, you push down this button, it starts spraying like crazy, and you immediately throw it out your window. So you would open your window first, then you would deploy this, then you could drop this right out front of your RV, and I guarantee you, anybody's gonna scatter who's causing you problems. Because this stuff is very, very toxic. You can go see some of my other videos, and you'll see that we only lasted about 13 seconds in an enclosed vehicle while this stuff was spraying everywhere. So may or may not be for you, but I'm gonna reiterate, do not set this off in your RV. Open up the window, push it, drop it out the window, close the window, that way everybody outside is getting this stuff and you're fine. Pepper spray grenade if not, you want it. Smoke grenade. This is a smoke grenade. It lasts about 90 seconds. Just like the pepper spray grenade, you do not want to set this off inside your place. So if you just wanted people to disperse or distraction for you to get out of there, because what do people do when they see smoke? They stare at it, and that allows you to go the other way. You just want to get them dispersed, and you say, hey, I don't want to use a pepper spray grenade. Maybe I just want to use a smoke grenade because it's just smoke. It's not going to harm them. So this is a pull ring smoke grenade for RV security. Another one, I love this one. I have several people use this for home defense, for apartment defense. This is the ultralight tomahawk. Goes back to if you say, hey, I don't want a gun, I don't feel comfortable with a gun, walls are too thin in an RV, you know, I've got somebody right next to me, I'm worried about overpenetration. This bad boy is awesome. This spike is super, super nasty. So is the front. So this is a great home defense weapon, RV defense weapon, and it's intimidating. Someone's trying to bust in your door and they see you, maybe they make it through, and you're sitting there with this, they might think twice about doing a RV home invasion. Hopefully you never have to use it, but it's also good for obviously chopping. I've had to use this to dig out when we got trapped in the snow after a slid off in an ice storm in Wyoming. So definitely have a tomahawk for survival purposes, but also for home RV security purposes. Another bladed weapon is maybe you say, hey, I don't want a tomahawk. You could have the kukri, AKA machete. This one I beat the crap out of. I used it a lot for camping and other stuff, chopping things down. But another intimidating weapon, does a lot of damage, doesn't need any training. So you could also use this if you're not gonna use a gun, or in addition to using a gun. This one is, oh, I hate this one because it hurts my ears. This is an air horn. This is a small mini air horn. You can obviously go to boating supply stores. I'm trying to think cow ranch near me, which I call Walmart for cowboys. But if you don't have a cow ranch, just go to some boating supply store. I bet Walmart. Yeah, I think Walmart has these too. I don't know. Walmart has everything. But air horns, if you are trying to scare somebody away, maybe they're coming in, maybe you want to alert the neighbors, hey, I need help or whatever. I'm going to do this for like 0.2 seconds. I hate that. Yeah, I know. My camera guy is sitting there in pain. But anyways, if you were in a life or death situation and you held this at the front door and you said, hey, Jason, I don't have any other weapons for whatever reason. I don't have a gun. I don't have an ultralight tomahawk. I don't even have a knife or whatever. Blasting this full blast, yes, it's going to hurt your ears, but it's most likely going to damage their ears too and scare somebody away. Of course, you're only going to screw up your own ears and press this for an extended period of time in a life or death situation. And remember, this is a mini air horn. You can buy the big ones, and they are loud as can be. Quick side note, if you want to know an awesome off-the-grid home defense trap that I have used, get an air horn, dig a hole in the ground, put this part barely above, get a rock that's leaning over. You know the old thing where you see the cartoons where they put up a box and they put a stick under it with a string attached to the stick. You pull it and the box falls on the animal and they catch it. Well, I've done it where I buried this just to put this above the ground. I put a huge rock leaning over it, and I put my tactical pen in the ground with a fishing line pulled to my tactical pen. And if anybody crossed the perimeter, they would trip the fishing line. It would fall on top of this and would make an insanely loud sound. I've had somebody use this, actually a guy, I think he was in LA or something, because homeless people were coming into his yard, and he put one of these sounds and he says, the only thing I heard when they tripped it was the F word a bunch of times, like, what the F just happened? And the guy had homeless people stop coming to his house. So now you know how to make an air horn tripwire alarm, which you can use at home, you could use for RV security too. Not necessarily a weapon, but if you're in the middle of nowhere, you gotta have a satellite phone. Now, satellite phone, you have to go outside. So you would have to see a threat coming. You would have to have a driveway alarm or some kind of alarm and know something was wrong where you needed to call for help. But if you like to go camping, and if you're in the middle of nowhere, which I like to do in southern Utah, I always have my satellite phone because I'm in places where real cell phones don't work. Satellite phones are super easy to use. You gotta be outside, have the antenna up, turn it on, then you dial 1 plus the phone number. So if it were me and I needed to call somebody or my wife, I would dial 1-435-555-5555. Obviously, I'm not gonna give you my wife's phone number. If you wanna know the place where I get my satellite phones, go to spysatphone.com. I love it. They got a bunch of awesome off-the-grid stuff there. Okay, I think that about does it. I have shown you a bunch of stuff you can use for RV security. Pick and choose your poison, what works for you, but absolutely have some type of way to protect yourself. We live in a dangerous world. There are creepers at campsites. There are creepers at RV parks. You already know that. I'm former CIA officer Jason Hanson. Hope you learned a thing or two. God bless you. God bless your family.